Hey, how's it going guys, ZDEyE here. So today I simply want to discuss and talk about Elden Ring. So I finally got an opportunity of playing it during the network test phase, whatever you like to call it. And basically I feel like I've gotten a lot of opportunity already, and I put in like a lot of hours too as well into the game. And I feel like I was also got a little bit of the first impressions that I'm pretty confident I can share. Okay, so I want to clarify one thing. My opinion may change during the full version of the release of the game, because there are a few issues with this game that I'm noticing already, but there definitely are 100% fixable during, when it does come out, on the 25th of February 2022. So that's awesome, because it means that we've got plenty of time from software to to fix these issues that I'm about to label them right at this moment. One of the major issues that I'm noticing is the frame rate. Basically, I prioritized my PlayStation 5 version of Elden Ring into the frame rate, and I wanted to get as much as 60 FPS as possible. Right? I don't care about the visuals. Personally, for me, frame rate is the way to go. And that's what I prioritized my time into it. And I've noticed there were some issues, like a lot of dips and stuff. Especially if for some odd reason, I feel like in the dungeons, I'm getting like 50 to 40 frame rates. At least that's kind of what it felt like to me. Maybe there were some instances, maybe I could have actually done a little bit of tinkering in the settings, but I definitely noticed there were some frame rate issues that I definitely needed to clarify. But again, like I said, this is definitely fixable. Open world itself, yes, there are issues with the frame rate on top of that. Okay, now let's talk about the visuals and fidelity and all that good stuff about this game. I gotta say, I'm very, very much surprised of how great this game actually looks. Yes, I can definitely say that this is definitely a resemblance of Dark Souls 3 for sure, but with fluidity because it's open world. Would you think there would be a difference comparing that to very traditional Dark Souls games? This is Dark Souls through and through, for sure. And I'm more than happy to say that this game is fantastic. It seriously is. Like with the demo, what it presents in here, it's really kind of is a full game that you get an opportunity of playing. But unfortunately, guys, if you have not tried it already and played it for yourself, it's not the same thing as to say that what you're watching for yourself and actually playing it and experiencing for yourself, right? It's not as always as fun to watch somebody play, but instead it's fantastic and different experience when you play for yourself. And I gotta say, man, I feel like this game is going to be a very, very good contender for the Game of the Year of 2022. Seriously. I'm very, very pleased with this game for sure. Now, gameplay. Let's talk a little bit about the gameplay. It is very, very much like Dark Souls, and I feel like this is definitely a very big step up, because actually it does have a lot more towards it. Right, Again, I can't clarify a few things such as that, because I definitely didn't get an opportunity playing 20 to 25 hours of this game, of course not, but I'm definitely very confident to say that the game is going to be very robust, and a lot of things are going to be introduced in here that we don't yet know as well. It's going to be very, very good experience. Now, I'm sure a lot of you may say, well, from my first impressions, would I, agree with the 60 full price tag? Fuck me, 250 full price tag I even would pay for, because I got the premium collector's edition, so obviously I'll be paying far more for this game. And yes, 100% this game is definitely well worth it. I've had plenty of time to enjoy this game, and I did. And I'm still going to be playing it, even though it was as of this moment, network test beta, version, whatever, it's not yet over. And so I cannot wait to dive into this game even more. Seriously. One question I'm sure a lot of you may be asking: how hard is it? And I'm very glad to say that for you, those that are kind of not interested with its challenge and difficulty, I think this may be the easiest From Software game. I think. Again, this is first impressions. My opinion may change. But at the moment, if you take your time, don't be in a rush. Don't think it's some sort of Assassin's Creed that you just breeze right through. No. This is definitely perhaps the easiest From Software game so far. And so far with my first impressions. I have to clarify this one more time, that this is the easiest that I've experienced so far. One thing for sure, I want to say that I died only maybe twice. That's it. I feel like this actually, the dev system is somewhat forgiving. because like you can find these graces, right, like basically a bonfire, just to say it differently, right, and they basically keep your checkpoint. And so when you actually take this checkpoint and when you activate it, then you go and explore more, you find them more these graces and these bonfires basically, then you can actually, well, get another checkpoint, continue on, another checkpoint. You know, you're not really getting into a linear path in this game, because this is an open world game. And I actually really like it. I may like this more than traditional Dark Souls games, like, you know, linear path and approaching. Because Dark Souls is very, very famous for its linear path and like puzzles, elements of, you know, worlds, right? Like maybe there's some different shortcuts that you can take, you know, to unlock as well. In this doesn't really do that, unless of course if you go to certain dungeons. And by the way, dungeons, they're so fun to explore. Seriously, one of the moments of the group of knights and enemies that I had to clear out, right? And actually very good rewards too, and I'm very glad about that. So you basically, let's say you clear out a whole section of bandits of, you know, of the knights and whatnot, right? And you you know, take their loot and stuff. I actually noticed one thing, that enemies don't really drop too much, you know, in terms of loot. Like at least humanoid enemies, they don't. Monsters, well, that's a different story. But again, like after noticing I'm going through this band camp and, you know, clearing out, and, you know, I found out there's a little dungeon area, that there's a chest. It made me very curious. And like, wait, is this chest booby-trapped or something? Because remember, we are talking about Dark Souls. We are talking about From Software. I was even considering, okay, shit, is this a mimic? But anyway, I, you know, just still ahead. I got ahead and actually opened up the chest, and I got like I think it was some sort of a weapon. I can't remember. It was actually pretty awesome. And so I come out and then I clear out more of the bandits. And then actually every time when you clear out these bandit camps, it refills your task. Basically the flusk, I apologize. And basically you can actually replenish your health again and again. So that is actually definitely enticing for me to continue clearing out these bandits. That's awesome, absolutely. And then you can actually find in certain areas of the map fragments and clear out one of the map fragments in the area and stuff like that, so it'll be more visible of the terrain, right? It doesn't necessarily will give you all the dungeon areas and stuff. Most of the time you'll have to explore the world and find it for yourself, and that's how you can mark them with your own map marker. But with that, I think I'm very glad that, you know, everything that I've noticed in here, the reward system, the satisfaction, it definitely is here. From Software that did a fantastic job so far. My first impressions are top notch. Few gripes that I have with the game, I don't have any doubt that From Software will definitely fix them, because we are talking about, look, we're in November. We still have to wait for a whole November to pass by. December, January, and then also February, because the game is coming out at the end of February. I have no doubt that all the stuff that we have got issues now, they're gonna get fixed. One of the things I kind of hope that they don't fix is these like characters, right? I've been playing as, you know, one of the 5 different versions of characters. I tried 2 of them out in Enchanted Knight, and I think it was the lone wolf, the wolf character basically. First I went with the wolf, but then, you know, I noticed that a little bit overpowered in some categories. For example, when the enemy is about to hit you and you block, you can just, you never need to parry. So that's actually kind of cheese, and I don't know if it's meant to be done like that. But anyway, when you hold up the shield and the enemy hits your shield, you have a very small window to activate to use a counter attack. And when you do so, you deal a lot of damage to that certain enemy, to the same specific enemy. It doesn't necessarily kill them, so that's a good thing, because like if you do parry instead, obviously depends how strong your weapon is and how strong you are, you will be able to kill them or one-shot them. That is, of course, if you parry them. Stealth element in this game actually works very, very well. One of the certain degree, the enemies are a little bit dumb. That's another problem I noticed. I noticed there's like, okay, there's an enemy, I can see his, you know, path that he usually takes, goes back and forward. So I decided to kill the enemy right in front of him. So not necessarily in front of him, but when he was, you know, going back, I killed him. The dead body is right there. on his path. He just walks by the dead body. He literally walks on the dead body and he totally ignores it and just continues on his own merry way. So I've decided to go behind him and finish him off. As you can see, there are still limitations in what From Software is capable of doing. So enemies still don't recognize that there's a dead body and if they should be, checking out and see and making trying to find what the hell happened. But anyway, I digress because of course there will be some degree of limitations of what From Software are capable of pulling through. Okay, so in terms of the monsters and the elements of surprise, there definitely are in here. One of the moments when I got a spirit horse and then I try to go my merry way, there's like a little bit of an ambush. A big giant monster just comes out of nowhere. Your main element is obviously to run away, but I kind of decided to stay behind and that actually meant to my death. But yeah, it was actually pretty fun. One of the things as well, I'm noticing that the element of exploring is very, very satisfactory. Because like every time when you go through different areas or to terrain, there's always something to pick up. And the way it also picks up is very traditional Souls-like, right? Very Dark Souls-like. And kind of with that element that the soundtrack, oh by the way, the soundtrack, top notch. Like every time when you pick something up, it always feels the satisfaction, oh man, I'm progressing towards something. Even though you don't know what that is, still, like the satisfaction of picking things up, getting rewards, it is very, very good, definitely. As you can hear and as you can see, my thoughts are incredibly positive about this game. Yes, like I said, there are a few gripes, but very, very good. One of the other elements of being very strong is the spirits. You can summon spirits and they can be a very, very big advantage to you. So I highly encourage you to always have your MP full, at least most of the time have it always full, and definitely utilize the spirits, summoning. Alright guys, I think I'm done for tonight. Tell me down in the comments, what did you think about Elden Ring if you had an opportunity of trying it out and playing it for yourself? Man, I think we got something very special here. I seriously do believe that. Oh man, 2022 is a big year, isn't it? Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, Ragnarok, Elden Ring, of course. Now and there are plenty more games will be coming out that are very big contenders for the Game of the Year of 2022. Whew, it's gonna be a big year, big year. All right, tell me down in the comments as well what you think about a whole thing of Elden Ring, and yeah, love to read it. All right, like and subscribe. See you guys all. Have a wonderful day.